Hi, I'm Elmar Dornberger. I'm a psychotherapist, Constellation Facilitator, and trainer. And I would like to talk to you about a new upcoming Constellation Facilitation Training starting this fall. We will learn how to work three-dimensionally. We will look at ancestral patterns and how they affect our lives today. We will learn about trauma, and we will learn about 6 different modalities in constellations, like family constellations, structural constellations, constellation of the intentions, and so on. Attached to this video, you will find a link that will show you all the details about this training. But for now, I would like for you to listen and hear some of the trainees that attended last year's training, and I thank you for your interest.
This training was amazing. I had great hopes and expectations for it. I've done the work with people before, worked with Elmar before, and so I knew I would get a lot out of it, but I had no idea what that would be. I've gotten tenfold out of it, what I expected to get out of it, and it's brilliant work. Thank you.
And it was expansive. I learned many good things, new things, and I would say you created a container for a process that I think I've been in for years and years and didn't have a name for in a certain way. I mean, I've been doing constellations for a number of years, but I've never had the kind of conversations about them as we've had here in the group. I like the way you broke things down step by step, articulated the various elements of the constellations. That was helpful to me. Every experience has been good. Every time I've come has been good, has been nourishing in some way. Something new has come to me in some way. And certainly love participating in the constellations and all the roles. And I do love the liminal constellation. You held a good space. Thank you. I'm happy.
It was very interesting. It was very deep for me. It was, I'd done constellations for a number of years, not intensively, but done a lot of reading, been to a number of couple-day-long workshops. This was very different for me because of how in-depth it was and how systematic it was. So what it's done for me is to give me a really good foundation, it feels like, of an overview of the whole field and way to do work with constellations. So I, as much as I've been exposed to them before, I feel like this has really tuned my skills and it's helped me feel more confident or more clear about what I'm doing, and that I already had a natural intuitive sense of it, but this has just created a systematization of that and a sort of a definition or the boundaries of it, so to speak. And it's been a really powerful group to be part of. I mean, this training attracted some really great people in a really great field that we created together, and I will really miss that group because we did some really deep work together, and that was very meaningful to me.
Well, for one thing, I took all of the things that you asked us to do very seriously. I took them seriously, personally and professionally. And so I really went inside with the training. I used it hugely as a tool of introspection, and so for personal development and professional development. And so like the very first day, the outset of the day, when you wanted us to come in knowing and having an idea of 3 things we wanted to get out of this, I took that into my heart I took it deeply into my heart, and I've seen, I didn't have any idea where that would go, and I almost felt at the time flippant when I answered it, because I didn't feel like I knew that it would have anything to do with the next 6 months, right? So, but I see that something about learning this work is profound, in that I came in with a deep awareness about my wanting to love my family more at a time when I didn't feel any love from them, and at a time when I didn't know what love had to do with anything, and at a time when I didn't know how this was going to help my profession, but I kept trying to repeatedly convince myself that it was going to help my profession. But both my profession and my personal life have blossomed, and my children are all coming back like they were looking for me, and I'm stunned, and I'm moved.
It was quite an evolving opportunity and process, and I recall that when we first started, I was probably a little scared and nervous because I just wasn't sure what to expect, and probably didn't have a full feeling in myself or confidence in myself to hold a field, although I've been told that I do, and I just know how important that is. Yeah, so that's grown. It's grown in me. I've seen it grown in everybody in the class, and that's just marvelous to be in an experience like that, where each person is individually growing, and we're growing as a group in a way in how we hold and work with expanding what Constellation can be. And it's expanding in me. It's expanding all around me. Opportunities are just showing up everywhere. And also in ways that I didn't expect. I may have come with intention or something I was really interested in. I did, and that's expanded all in many ways that it's hard to describe. For me individually, and in my own family line, and in people I know, and in little groups that are forming. It's just amazing to see. And yet I know that in terms of a lot of what we learned, I need to continually review or kind of re-embody in some way some of those concepts. It's like it's come into me on some kind of, etheric or subconscious level, maybe even. And so I can't always recite, well, we learned this or we learned that. But somehow a lot of it's there, and I trust that. And know that each time I step into the field to facilitate or represent, that I'm held, I feel resourced completely, and that I can hold that space for others. That's a gift. So it's been wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Elmar.
The training has been very good. I'm very appreciative for what I have learned and the tools that I can take with me and study on my own now. I discovered constellations in Argentina with Hellinger and kind of knowing some of those basics. And what I've really gained from this training is, I would say, more awareness of the field and how alive the field is, the effect that it can have on participants as well as people who are not participating. So I've gained a greater knowledge of the field, which is fundamental to constellation work. So for that, I'm very thankful.
There's words that can sound trite, like fantastic, like eye-opening, like something that reached into my soul and brought together what this work is truly about. For me, this work meant, instead of having constellations which were good in spite of me, because I would often go into trauma, I now understand the client. And I understand that the work is about the healing. It's not about me. It's not about even the group members there. It's about how can I make this process more comfortable, more fluid, and the tools that were offered that I really appreciated was how precisely Elmer has studied his art, and that is invaluable because many times, many people who are attracted to the work are intuitive, so we think that we need to, well, let's just draw from whatever the spirit wants to tell us. But even the spirit, as I was learning last night as I overheard a documentary, has math, has physics, has science. And what if we didn't just pay attention to process and make the magic happen in a more contained space that's safe for the facilitator, that's safe for the participants in a group, and especially, and most importantly, safe for the client. I thank Elmer Dornberger very much for having the courage to come up with this beautiful format.